Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this explosion card. I've done mine so it ties with a ribbon at the side and you open it up. Isn't that lovely? Okay, I've put a piece in here for you to write your own greeting, and I've done my bits over there decorating it, and I've put my verse in there as well. And these come in different sizes and everything. I have done mine this way round so that it will stand up on your shelf. From side views it would look like that. Okay, so it can be seen. Lots of them I saw opened up this way, which I suppose you could have that so that it would sit open like that, but I decided I wanted mine to go like that, and I've had to change my measurements because I wanted to do a card that's 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches so that you can get one out of either A4 cardstock, or if you're in North America you can get one out of your cardstock too. The finished card, how I would post mine is I would use one of my shop bought 6x6 envelopes. If you have a envelope punch board you could make your own, but that fits into a 6x6 envelope beautifully because obviously there's quite a bit of thickness there. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by showing you the card pieces that you're going to be needing, and I'm going to, for the designer series paper, I'm going to be using Poinsettia Place. So to start off with you need, I will also be putting the metric measurements in the box below the video. So you need a garden green card base which measures 5.5 inches by 11 inches, scored at 5.5. You need a piece of designer series paper which measures 10.5 inches by 10.5 inches. You will need 2 pieces of very vanilla cardstock which measure 5.25 inches by 5.25 inches. They are the 2 that will go on the outside because I have decorated the back as well. Then you will need 2 pieces of designer series paper, also for the front of the card and the back, and these measure 5 inches by 5 inches. Yep. And then you need 2 pieces of very vanilla which measure 5 inches by 5 inches, and these are the 2 pieces for the inside of the card to cut this one here. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to line up your stamparatus to do that bit of stamping as well. So if you're like me and you use your stamparatus for virtually all your stamping now, I'll show you the easy way of doing that. Right, so to start off with, I think we'll do this bit first, and that is our folding. If you have a directional pattern and you want to open your card this way, you need to do the fold here. If you wanted directional pattern and you want to open it this way, you need to do your straight fold across there. All the other folds are diagonals. So the easy way to remember it is whichever way your fold on your card is going to go, that's the direction you need to have your straight fold to go. Alright, so we're going to do the straight fold down here. So I need my straight fold down here. This isn't directional, but just imagine it is for the purpose of explaining this. Okay, so the first fold, turn your design over Okay, so that's the design I'm having inside. Turn it over and fold in half. Now, I do not recommend that you use a bone folder for your creases. This is paper, and too much scoring and it will make it split. And your finger really will crease it enough. So open that back up again. Now this time fold corner to corner. Take your time to make sure you get it right. And then open that up again and then fold it corner to corner on the opposite side. Okay, right, now where you've got the straight fold, which is this one here, you should be able to, right, let me show you how I'm doing this. I'm putting my fingers underneath the straight fold, my index fingers, and I'm putting my thumb and my middle finger on either side on top of my paper. As you bring it in, it should just come to fold up like that, okay? And what we're going to do is put those two pieces together and then get this to fold so that that fold lines up down there and that fold lines up down there. Okay, again, your finger is enough to do the folds on this. Now what you need to do is, you can either mark where halfway is, or you can use where your two folded bits join. You see those two together, that's going to be your halfway mark. So you could either mark it on here or you could just eyeball it. Then you take the first corner and you fold it so that it lines up with that crease there. Okay, so it's the crease that's nearest to it. Fold it like that. And the most important thing about this is making sure that all of this stays flat all the time. Don't have one of these raising up. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm going to do the same for this one. Bring it over, line it up with the fold on that side, making sure they're level. Okay, they've got to be level that way. As you see, that's sinking down, so that is not good. See that sliding down? Yes, you can. Okay, so I've got to make sure that comes up level. Once that's in place, give that a squeeze. Turn this over and then do exactly the same on the other side. To bring that one up. Just make sure that's all nice and flat still, and then squeeze that down. Bring this one over, line it up, make sure it's all nice and flat, and then squeeze that down. Okay, trust me, no bone folder is necessary. Now what you need to do is, one at a time, open this up, open that, and then push that so it folds into the other direction. So it's going to fold on where you've folded that, make sure that comes out to a point, line these two up, and then fold that one down. Okay, so you finish up with a straight edge with your point disappeared inside. Turn it, and we're going to do the same to this one. Push the straight bit in, find where your folds are, get it down to go to the point, make sure they're nice and straight, and then give that a squeeze. Move round one more, take this one, open it up, push the straight line in, find your crease lines at the side here, push that down so that you get to the point. Make sure these line up. It might need a bit of encouragement like that one did. Okay, and increase that on the inside. And then round to the last one. Push that in. Find these fold lines. Make sure they line up beautifully. And then squeeze that. So then if you lay that down, you should find that that is all nice and straight across there. Okay, and then that should be level, and that should be level. Okay, now at this stage I will use one bone fold with the bone folder once, alright, on that side, there, and that is it. That's all I'm doing. So that's how your card is going to be opening up. Clever, isn't it? Right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to adhere this inside our card. Before you start trying to glue it in, have a look to see where it's going to fit. You will see that you will have a gap on this side, you will have a gap on that side, and you'll have a slightly bigger gap there. Okay? It's just much easier to familiarise yourself before you start gluing. Okay, so when you close this, that will fit right into the fold there. So what I'm going to do is I'm using Tombow. You could use Snail Plus, not Snail Plus, Seal Plus, which is our tape runner. At the moment it doesn't matter which side is which. Right, so I want that into the corner there, and I want the gap on this side to be about the same as that side. There we go. Okay, so I've got my green gap that side, green gap this side, and a bigger gap on there. Okay, and that fits into the corner. So now I'm going to put glue on here, and then I'm going to push that down onto that side. You can see how quick and easy this comes together. In all the videos I saw, you would be amazed at the different sizes that people do. There was one that was really quite a small one. It was just a bit bigger than a gift card, really, I suppose. There we go. Give that a good flatten down to give Tombow a chance to do its job. Now the way you do your fastening is entirely up to you. You could do a belly band if you like. I prefer the idea of the ribbon. I think it's an easier way of doing it. So to do that, I forgot to get my snail. I have still got some snail, which is why I haven't moved on to seal yet. So these next pieces, what I'm going to do, first of all I'm going to adhere them together. 5 in 5, they're both for the inside. 5 1/4, 5 1/4. That's it. I don't think this is a directional pattern, but there are times I think, And I've chosen to use very vanilla with this. Although it says this goes with white, I'll show you my poinsettias that I've made. I've done this ahead of time, obviously. I thought the white looked a bit stark. I don't know if you can see that on camera, can you? I hope so. But the white one, I will use that for something, but I just felt that that goes better than the white one. Okay. I'll show you that so that you have the choice. You may prefer the white one, looks best. Right, let's stick these together. I've wanted to do one of these cards for absolutely ages. And I don't know, I stumbled across a video the other day for one of these, and I was just so surprised at how easy it was. So I thought I must share this with you. I'm sure you'll love it. That one. As you can see, I have prepared some of my images beforehand, partly because it is just so time consuming, especially when you want to do the poinsettias like that, and you don't want to rush. When you're doing a project like this, you don't want to rush and finish up doing something that maybe you think, not really very happy with that. This is our hobby, so we should take our time to enjoy. Okay, so that will now be going on here. I think I'll do that. Oh, that's better that way for that one. Let's see which way. Oh, that looks alright, doesn't it? No, definitely that way. Okay, so what I do is I use my snail to help me, and I want my ribbon to go halfway. I'm going to use this, which is from the Forever Greenery combo. You get a roll of this, and you also get some gold cord, which is great for this time of the year. And I think, if I remember rightly, I cut myself 22 inches. That's 16. That's 22. Well, I'm going to do 24 just in case. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I know this is 5.5 by 5.5, so half is 2 3/4. I'm just going to get my pencil, turn it this way, 2 3/4. Yes, yes. So just make a pencil mark there and a pencil mark there, and turn it over, do the same again on this side. This grid paper is so amazingly helpful for so many different things. I don't think I've got a right way or wrong way this design, have I? No, I haven't. Okay, so I just take my snail, just put a little bit on that line, on that line. This is just to hold it in place while I'm putting my front and back covers on it. So I've got that in half. So my fold is going to go on the back of my card. There we go. And I'm going to put that across like that. I'm going to double check that that is right. Use my 2 3/4 inches again. And as long as both sides are the same, then I will be happy. Okay, slightly out, but that's all right. At least they're both out the same amount. Okay, so bit of snail again. And pull that straight. And this time, if you make sure the one underneath is down straight, and then pull this one to line up with the one underneath. There we go. That's close enough. So the first one I'm going to keep this way round. So put some Tombow on this. Again, you can use tape if you prefer. I'm not quite sure what my design is going to be like for this card. I've prepared 2 or 3 bits. I think it's all going to work out. I don't have any alternative plans. I'm that hopeful that this will work out. Okay, so pop that on in the centre. Should have the same gap all the way round. Oh, I normally do when I do this, I normally put some glue on here as well. I forgot to do that on the opposite side, but never mind. In fact, the front, isn't it, the other side? In fact, because I would have turned it while I was putting the glue on, I will just check, make sure I have still got it up the right way. Now, without getting myself into a mess. Yes, that's the front. Definitely the front. Yes. Oops, don't do that. There we go. So then to close, if you push the 2 bits together and then pull in not tight, and then you can do it up. In fact, that 24 inches looks better than the 22. But I'm not going to do it right up now. I want to do my decorating. Now, I know you're curious, you want to know how we're going to do that bit in there. We have a way. With our 2 pieces that are 5 inches by 5 inches, on 3 sides you need to mark at 2.5 inches. Just one little line, because with this is 5 inches by 5 inches, we know 2.5 is halfway. Normally I would use my grid paper, but I just want to make sure that you can see exactly what I'm doing. This is quite a crucial bit. Okay, so we'll go down and double check it. Right, that's good. So now you need your trimmer. Oh, I didn't say to you with your cardstock that you would need scraps for your decorating, like anything that you're doing here. If you're stamping, this was actually the DSP that I cut up, but I've given you the measurements for the 2 pieces in there, so anything else you want to go on there you need scraps for. Okay, so my trimmer. Now with the one up at the top, so you've got one there, one pencil mark there, one pencil mark there, and one there. So you're going to go from the top one down to the side. Put both marks into your cutting track. And then slice. And then turn it. So this is the top one, and I'm going to cut down to the one on the opposite side. I've forgotten we've got 2 pieces to do, haven't we? Let's do the other one. Now that you've seen me do one, the other one I'm going to do using my grid paper. So that's one there, one there. And that's my top one. Right, so my top one is here, and I'm going to cut down to this one. Put that mark into the cutting track and that one into the cutting track. And then slice. And then that pencil mark in the cutting track and your top into the cutting track. Okay. So now I'm going to use my eraser to take those pencil marks off. Another reason why I think I like the idea of the ribbon to tie up the card is I think it's probably a better closing thing if you're going to give a card to a child. I mean, my favourite method is to use magnets, but I would not recommend using a magnet on a card for a child. But with this card you could make it such a fun card for children. Right, so that's that, and you will see that that is going to fit in there. Okay, so now we just need to decorate it. Now as you can see on here, I've done on one of mine, this one, I have done my little verse up there, and I want to show you how I put that together, if I can find my Stamparatus. Obviously this is particularly useful if you're going to do more than one of these. So what did I do? Okay, now because I've got this one in the correct position, first of all I'm going to show you that it's correct. Okay, so line that up there and put that in. In fact, let me just do this one first because this is what I'm using for this card. Oh dear, fighting me. Shouldn't let those two get too close to each other. Right, okay. Now this I'm going to stamp in Pool Party. Let me show you the 3 stamp sets I'm using. I'm using for Unto Us, I'm using this verse here which says, "May your heart be lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives." This one for the Poinsettia, and Merry Christmas for the front of the card. That's Tag Buffet, and that's Poinsettia petals. So let me put one stamp set under here. Now, as you can see, that lines up beautifully. Now, I don't want to redo that one, so I'm going to show you how you can line one up for here. The principle is the same. In fact, I suppose now that I've done that, I could actually redo that, couldn't I? Right, let me get my Simply Chamois. If I clean that, now what you need is, close your ink pad first, you need to take a piece of computer paper, anything that you're going to be recycling, and take it to be a piece of paper that's 5 inches by 5 inches, just like the piece that we've cut. And then if you mark all 4 sides at 2.5 inches and then join them all. And the reason I do 4 is because if I get it wrong first time, I can turn it around and have another go and another go. But with this, if you imagine, if you took that off and that off, you would finish up with this. Okay? Now, if you left it till here, no, if you tried to do it when you still had your 5 by 5 inches, this one, no lines on it, you would think you could only allow your stamp to go up into that corner underneath your 2.5 inches, where in fact you can come over here. So let me show you that. If you didn't have your lines on there, you would just look at that and think, that's got to go in there somehow. But once you've drawn that line, you know you can go quite a bit over, like that. Okay, which is why I've done this bit. So what I do then, I move this bit over, make sure I've got my magnet holding that in place. Then I place this where I want my sentiment to go. Now I'm not going to fiddle about with this until I make it perfectly straight. It could take all evening. Okay, so I'm just doing this to show you the idea. Now I've got that in place. I don't want to spoil that, so I'm going to move that out of the way. And with this grid paper, when I stamp that, I can see whether it's straight or not because I've got lines on here. So that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't have to be stamped inked up perfectly, nor stamped perfectly. Now, my goodness, that looks really quite good. It is slightly wonky, so what I would need to do is move it up slightly. Okay, now I know that that's my position for it. I get a bit confused here. That's coming down, so that's got to go up a bit. Okay, so moving that very slightly. And what I'm going to do is ink it up again. And so that I can see properly, I'm going to move that around. And I'm going to stamp that again. Oh, gone too high there, I can see it. Okay, but you can see the idea of what I'm doing here. I know that I've got to keep it there, keep moving until I've got it straight on here. Once it's straight on here, I know that I can bring this in like I did and stamp it, and it's going to be perfectly straight. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry that it takes me so long to get something straight, but at least you can see the principle of the idea, and that's what I've done, and this is what I will keep for future use as well. Next thing I need to do is to decorate the inside of my card. I have done this. Now to decorate, what I'm planning to do, no, I don't want that to go too far away, do I? I have done some fussy cutting. You could stamp on here. Oh, I've got... oh well, never mind. No, I'm going to leave that. This was die cut with the Poinsettia dies, which I have here. This die here will die cut flowers on here. The only ones it will do are the ones where, when you look at it, none of these extra little bits and pieces actually touch the flower. Okay, there's a gap all the way round on that one. This one, that's touching, so you won't be able to die cut that. This one here, it's nothing is touching, so you can die cut that one. I think there are 4 on a sheet, if I remember correctly, but those are the ones you can die cut, which is what I did here. But then I found that 2 wasn't enough. I couldn't really do anything with them. So I went to my other sheet, which was it this one? Yes, it was this one. And I die cut that one there. But die cutting it when they've got these other bits attached to it means you do have to go right up to the edge. And then once I'd worked that one out, I thought I don't want to have one that's got an edge on it. So I went round the other one like this and cut the edge off. Okay, so this is the same as that. Let's see if I can show you. There we go. Okay. So it's the same, it's just I cut the edging off, and now I can put the 2 together. Okay, which is what I intend to do for here. When you die cut the, fussy cut these, you finish up with a white edge around here. Now if you've been watching me for a little while, you will know that I will go round the edges. I have actually done all this one already, but I go round. This is my soft suede. By the way, that was soft suede ink as well. I'm keeping my pen, my brush end below my design, so if my pen slips, then I get a line drawn on there. But then I just touch the edge all the way round, and that will fill in any white areas. Okay, it also gives you a nice dark brown line all the way round, which makes it show up nicely on there. Now whether this is going to be enough decoration for me or not, I'm not going to know until my card is finished. I might go back and add some bits on it, might not, but I will do it after the video. So you can always go onto my blog on the same day that this is posted, and there will be photographs of it. Any changes you'll be able to see in the photographs. Okay, right, so let's adhere these 2. Obviously, because it's on the inside of my card, I'm not going to be using, oh, let me just do this up first. Because it's on the inside of my card, I'm not going to be doing any dimensionals. Okay, so now that one is definitely going to go in the corner there. I thought that fitted in rather nicely. If I do need anything else in here, I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing. no ideas are springing to mind. By the time I get this adhered inside my card, it may be that it looks good without having too much in there. Right. There we go. You may see, if you go back to my blog on the day the video is posted, you may see that I've done something to cover that little mark-up. Not quite sure what. In fact, if anything, the idea that's coming to my head now is it would be a star, which would be appropriate for Christmas. Right. There we go, that's that one. The other one I'm leaving plain because that's to write a sentiment, which is the front. This is the front, okay. So I'm going to pop this one in here first. Again, before you start putting glue, familiarise yourself with the amount of gap you've got from the folds. Get that ribbon out of the way, don't want to get that all glued up. I warn you, it's not very easy to see. Probably easier if you use something like stripes or something. That's a good way of cheating. Yes, that's okay. You see what I mean? Because that's all very busy with poinsettias, that may be enough. Let's see what it's like once I got that one in. I might turn this the other way around. There we go. I'll pop that back up. There we go, so that's all right. One of those is a bit sticky because it got onto the glue. So there we go, that's that. So we just need to decorate the front now. And what I'm planning on doing that is, I made this poinsettia, so I'm going to show you that, how I did that. And I'm also going to stamp the same Merry Christmas, and as you can see, I haven't used a die to die cut that. That has just been cut freehand. I felt that because this is all straight lines everywhere, it needed something to help break it up. Okay, so I'm going to use that on this other card as well. So first of all, on my scrappy bits here, I know one bit's thicker than the others, taller rather than the other. And what I've done here is I have lined up all my 3 stamps on here. Let's bring this back and pop that in there. Now I'm only going to die cut one of these, stamp all 3 but die cut just one. I'm going to make sure I stamp all 3 of them properly though, so that I can go back and finish it afterwards for another project. And that looks as if it's got to come up a little bit. Let's just make sure. Oh, it's touch and go, isn't it? Okay. That one there, that one there. When I started doing my stamping today, oops, I need another sponge in there, don't I? I've got the wrong mats. I realised that my ink pad wasn't very good. Now this is going to cause me problems because that isn't right up against the edge of there. Ah. Right. Okay. Fingers crossed. That's what we can do. Great thing about stamping up paper, it does have 2 sides. Okay, let's try that again. Anyway, as I was saying, that my ink pad needs re-inking, but I am very, very loath to do that while I'm preparing for a video. I have done it before where I have over-inked, and as they say, once bitten, twice shy. I'd much rather sit here and stamp this several times till I get it right, rather than trying to work with an over-inked pad. Nearly there. I think they're almost there. Yes, that's beautiful. And the other one I need is for my sentiment. When Stampin' Up retired these plates, I bought several, and it is so nice to be able to have separate plates for different things that I'm working on. I have 3 of them set up just outside my studio, which I'm working on for a class in the mail, and it's so nice I haven't got to keep on setting up my stamps. That's nearly done. Let's just give the Mary a bit more. beautiful. There we go. You shouldn't let these two magnets get as close as I've just allowed mine to get. If they snap together, chances are they'll break. Right, let's move that. We'll clean those later. Oops, close this one. Let's just clean myself up a bit. That was clumsy. I don't know where I got that little lot from. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut one of these. I'm not going to do all of them because it's a question of lining up. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'm going to bring this up really close to you. There are two dies for every stamped image here. One of them is to actually die cut the flower out, and then the other one is to actually emboss veins onto the leaves. Okay. I think you can see the embossing, can't you? Which is why I'm only going to do one now as a demonstration. In fact, I'm going to do the big one. It's going to be easiest to see, I think. Now what I've done on the back of mine is coming off is I have done a black mark across here that's gone across onto the outside one as well. So I know how to line these two up. So what I do is when I'm lining it up, this one up onto here, I keep that into my fingers so that I know that that is the one where that's got to go. Okay, so this is the one I'm watching. In fact, that looks like, try turning it over the right way. There we go, that was lucky. Okay. And then this one, you pop it in, that one. I really must use some permanent markers for this rather than whatever it is that's coming off. Now that has gone into a good position straight away, and it never ever does that. So what I was going to say to you, what I do is, I can't find my, oh, let's use my scissors. I normally use my paper piercer, and then I would just push these into the centre, because quite often I find it sits up against the side on one of them. It doesn't matter, it's not the end of the world, but it does look nicer if you can get it right. So let's just cut that. Okay, you can see the embossed marks there. They may not be spot on, but it adds depth to the actual image, and particularly if you're building it up as a flower, as a 3D flower. So what I do next with that is I use my, what colour did I choose in the end? Bumblebee. And I use the pen end and I just colour in the centre of the stamens. Now this bit here didn't print out too well, stamp out too well, but it doesn't matter because I'll be putting another two on top of here. Now before I start layering all three together like that, I take my index finger, put that in the middle and bend the two sides up. Okay, let's see, let me get my finger out of the way. Yeah, you can see what I've done there. And then I do that and that. As you can see, it gets easier the more you do them. Okay, and then I do the other two, and then just put one little bit of glue in the middle there and build them up, and I finish up with this, which is what I'm going to use on the front of my card. Make sure I've got the front, yes. I'm going to put that on here somewhere, I'm not sure yet where, but I'm going to fussy cut this, and I just follow round where the font comes. And there really isn't any right or wrong to this at all. I like to leave a nice bit of very vanilla underneath. Let's cut that bit off. Okay, as you can see, I don't go in and out precisely. The only thing I do be careful of, and I've done it there, so I will come back in a moment, I do make sure that I don't have any pointy bits. That's sticking into my hand there. Let's try that again. There we go. You see the pointy bit there above the T? I don't like that, so I'm going to round that off. That's better. One little bit there as well. Move that one. There we go. Have I got a colour here that I can pop that on so you can see it? There we go. Oops. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. And I'm going to have that. Let's just move that to the side because I need to glue it on here. Now all I need to do is decide how I want this. I'm inclined to say in the corner for this. Don't want that wonky. No, I want that straight. Now you could do that with dimensionals if you like, because you've got depth here. I don't think I will. I'm going to go straight for Tombow. The thing is, this is already quite thick to go through the post. Here in the UK, this will go through as a large letter because of the thickness of it. But if you do make it go too thick, it will have to go through as a parcel, which really is not on when you're sending a Christmas card. Now, also don't have to worry about getting that straight either. Oh, lovely. Makes me feel so relaxed. And this, I am going to use Tombow as well. So just a little bit. As you see, I haven't used any leaves anywhere here. And I don't think I'm going to. Right, there we go. I think I'm happy with that. Let's see what it looks like if I close it up. This is beautiful ribbon. It is really so soft. Very, very soft. And I do like to leave quite a bit of ribbon on the end, because the person who's going to be opening and closing this may not be a card maker, and therefore may not be very comfortable keep doing bows, especially with ribbons. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. So there we go, there's today's project. What do you think of that? Super. I'm really, really pleased with that. I hope you are too, hope you like it. So I'll close that one up and open this one, I think. There we go. In fact, I can't get much else in the screen, can I? So let's just tie this one up, see if I can get it into the corner. This ribbon, by the way, is one of the ribbons for the new In Colours, Misty Moonlight. And again, this one ties easily. But then it is a narrow one, which obviously they are normally easier to work with. Okay, so if I can pop that one there and that like that, you get the idea. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments to leave, please put them in the box below the video. To open the box below the video, and I have to say big thank you to one of my subscribers for this, and I think her name is Jane. Sure, it's Jane. She said when her husband showed her something like this, no, it wasn't her husband, her brother I think it was, she understood a lot more easily how to open up the box. Okay, so this is a photograph obviously of me doing one of my cards, and this is where you'll see show more. Just click on that and it'll open the box. The only thing you have to remember is you must be watching the video on YouTube. Don't watch it via the link that's on my blog, but straight from YouTube, and you'll see that show more. If you're watching on a phone, you'll have a down arrow on the left hand side of your screen just underneath the video. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do a print screen on that, if it's possible or what, but it's there. Also in the box below I'll be putting all the measurements, and don't forget, whether you're using A4 cardstock or North American cardstock, the measurements for the inches will suit you. I will also do the metric measurements. I'll do all the products that I've used here, and there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you do place an order with me, first of all I'd like to say a big thank you for shopping with me. I appreciate your business, but please remember to use the HOSTESS code for November, and that way I can send you free product at the end of the month when I send you Happy Mail. The only time that doesn't apply is if you're putting in a big order and it's in excess of £150. Don't use the code, otherwise you will lose the Stampin' rewards that you earn for yourself. Okay. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe now button at the bottom right hand corner. Many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay well, and of course, happy crafting. Cheerio.